It's mailbag time. What do we have in here? This seems interesting. Don't forget to check out the links down below for any items I've got in here which may be purchasable. I can put links down below. Also thanks to my Patreon and membership supporters, people that help donate to the channel and helping to buy items mailbag and bits of test gear to fix. If everyone's appreciated, it helps to support the channel like that. Give me a thumbs up, helps support the channel, and commenting down below helps to support the channel as well. The YouTube algorithm think that you know it's alright or something. I don't know. Right, what do we have in here? Okay, so it's an RGB dimmer apparently. So the idea is you put a RGB strip light into this, power it from 12 volts I'm guessing. You can change the colours of the RGB lights. Right, so I've hooked this thing up. I've got a 12 volt RGB LED strip sitting right here, so I thought let's hook this thing up and we'll actually try it out and see if it works. So I've got my power supply hooked up, 12 volts coming in. I've just got a couple of probes shoved in here and I've got some various cables shoved in this end to try and connect it all up. So let's do red. Yep, and that's dimming quite nicely. Obviously it's PWM control, 1 amp maximum, so that's looking about right. Let's do the green. 0.9 amps maximum. It's a very pale green, I suppose. It's interesting colour, and then we've got blue. And that's 0.7 amps. So if I mix two together, just mixing the green in, just mix the red in. I don't know what this colour's going to come out on camera. Maybe I should do like a low intensity or something. Maybe it'll look better if I do a low intensity. It's like a purple colour. Cool. So yeah, it's working alright. That's fine. Cheap little device. Crank everything up. That's 1.8 amps. I'm probably getting a massive drop through these cables because this little positive cable here, that can't take much power. The little DuPont jumper cables can't take much power. So basically nothing running. I'm drawing like 13, 14 milliamps. In fact, there's an LED right there. That could be it. Let's see what's inside here. Wow, there's actually quite a lot in there. Got 78L05, we've got some devices over here, what's that? I can't quite read what that is. NE555. It's using a 555 timer. What are those devices there? LM358. Okay, so those are op amps. Over here are MOSFETs. They'll be driving the outputs directly. Pretty simple little circuit. Nice, I like the way it's all labelled. All the component labels are on there. So if anything ever blows or fails, you can at least just replace the part, even if the marking's been destroyed, because you know what it says, because the labelling's on the board. I do like that. So when I actually designed circuitry myself, I actually did the same thing. I put the labels of the component label values on the board as well. This makes assembling a lot easier as well. Yeah, it seems alright. I mean, there's some flux residue from the manual soldering. And this was in the bottom of the box. So DC 12 to 24 volts, maximum of 3 amps for each colour. 3 amps, that's generous. Most strips are usually about 1 amps, maybe 1.5 amps. See what's in here. Nothing. That's the easiest way. Oh, what's in it? 1N5352BG. Okay, well, also diodes. What I don't remember is why I've got these. I would have bought them for something. Question is what? So according to the invoice, these are 5 watt Zener regulator diodes. So 15 volt diodes. Now I know what these are for. These are for the Datron. So the Datron has got 5 watt 15 volt diodes in there for various protection circuitries. Loads of them in there on reference. They're scattered around, even through the rest of the units, actually scattered around. And I haven't actually had any bad ones yet. If I do have a bad one, I'm going to need to replace it. And 5 watts, a pretty big Zener diode, I have to say. 5 watts is chunky. Anyway, I found these ones. These are equivalents. They're not exactly the same as the originals are in there. Then go my parts selection. Have a box where I keep my spare parts for all my test equipment. So anything I've bought to do potential repairs, they go in there. Don't forget to click like if you like the video. And subscribe if you've not been here before and you're interested in mailbag videos or electronics or repairs, stuff like that. Product reviews, make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon. So what do we have in here? We have some 10 microfarad 450 volt caps. Cool, I've been waiting for those for my Datron, for my 1082. Needed those parts for that. These are 1000 microfarad 40 volt. Again, we're waiting for these for the Datron, so those are the Datron parts. I can finish my 1082 restoration, which is great. Although, I'm not quite sure which sequence you see the videos in. You'll think you'll see this one first. Anyway, so yes, need this for my Datron 1082 multimeter for the power supply. That's what I was waiting for those. And these are 150 microfarad 40 volt. I don't remember what I got those for. Maybe it's a stock because I haven't got many there. I've only got one left, so maybe it's a stock. And in here, I think these might be tantalums. Yes. 3. Alright, okay. That's weird. 47 microfarad 10 volt tantalum caps. Why do I only buy 3? That's odd. Normally I buy like 10 or something. Oh, they're out of stock, that's why. I ordered 10, they can only supply 3, it's all ahead. 7 will be following up later on. This big box means there's likely to be a tube of ICs or something like that in here, because that's the way they tend to send them. It's a bit of a pain actually, because and that means I've got to try and deal with a big tube. But anyway, let's see what we've got. Let's go for the small packets first. For these are 7650. So these are ICL7650. Hold on. ICL7650 SCPDZ. These are getting harder to get, and they're quite rare. I've only got 2 of them, those 2, and they're expensive. I think they're like $15 each or something. So a couple for stock. These are used in my Datron calibrator, the 4700, and also used in my Solartron as well, and probably some other things too. I thought, well, I'm going to have some stock of these. I've got a few now. I think I've got about probably 10 of them now. I should never have to worry about placing one, because once you got enough of them, they never fail. That's the way it works. That's Repaire's law. So if you've got a stock of them, you won't need them. So if I have a stock of everything, nothing will ever break. MC14094 BDR2G. These are some little service mount parts. These aren't exactly the right parts I wanted. They aren't exactly the ones I wanted, but these are what I could get. These were for the Datron calibrator as well, but they got a dip package, dip 14 I think it is. I think the 14 pin. Might be 16 pin, I can't remember. Anyway, the dip package, but I can only find these from RS, so I don't have the dip package anymore. But you can always put these on an adapter, so it wouldn't be a total loss if I did have to replace one. At least I've got some service mount versions instead. In here, this is a 1686449 ULN2002A. So these things are basically drivers, transistor drivers, so you can use these to drive displays or relays and stuff like that. Quite high current ratings on them. So you've got different versions of these. This is 2002, this is 2003, 2004 as well. I think I've got some 2003 already. I didn't have any 2002. These are used in a Datron. I thought I'll get some of these as well because I didn't have any. And as dip packages are getting harder and harder to get, it pays to stock up. If you see you might potentially need one in the future, get them now. In 5 years, might make it dip anymore. Who knows? These are some LEDs. LTST-E682KRK GWT. You got that? Anyway, surface mount dual colour LEDs. Should be red and green. So these are red and yellow green LEDs, PLCC4 packaged. Yeah, I got these for something I was refixing, but then I purchased a few different ones from places, and the first ones that arrived, the ones that ended up being used in the product. So these are NE5534P. These are also used in the Datron calibrator, the 4700. I think these are all the same device, that's why they're in the same bag. So why actually are these things, you're asking? Well, these are single op amps, 10 MHz rated, and a DIP 8 package. Probably nothing too particularly special about them, but I think they're low noise and stuff like that, so because that's what I used in Datron calibrators and what have you. I think they're also used in the multimeters as well, if I remember rightly. Yeah. Okay, last package. Now this is from Tower Packet Technologies, which is the Siglent dealer, Rob, who loans me gear to do reviews and stuff on. So I know what's in here already. Now these aren't actually Siglent devices. Spoiler alert. He does sell other things as well. He doesn't only sell Siglent, he sells other bits and pieces too. So what I've got here is 2 probes, they're exactly the same. These are 500 MHz probes for oscilloscopes. One each box, and here's Rob's details here. If you're in New Zealand, then you want to go to towntech.co.nz for Siglent stuff or anything else. He may be selling lots of these probes. He's only recently got these, so it's fairly new to him, I believe. These I haven't been around that long, I don't think. You get a whole bunch of attachments. You've got some special clip lead stuff, which is why I've been for this particular kit, because you have all these extras. So you've got these little grabbers, and obviously you've got standard spring things, but you actually got more of them here. You've got extra different ones with different spacings for the ground probe. So you can choose which gap you need between the probe point and the ground. So you've got clip leads, you've got obviously just standard adjustment tool, the replacement tip, shield as you expect. But the thing I liked about this is that it's got these little flying leads on it. And it's got this special piece here which you put onto the end of the probe, and then you can use flying leads off the end of your oscilloscope probe. And I suppose the little manual cover page here shows you all the stuff you get with it, doesn't it? But this is what I really liked, is this piece, because you can stick your probe on flying leads and probe bits of circuitry. Something I've wished I'd be able to do many times. So these ones, here's the specs and stuff, but it's actually got two adjustments on them. You've got a low frequency and a high frequency adjustment. So it tells you how to do those trimmings, so if you need to compensate for those on your scope, then you can adjust them. So one's based on 1 kHz, one's based on 1 MHz apparently. There's the actual specs there. These are 10:1 probes, auto sensing. And there's the typical derating curve on the back there for the voltage, which not everyone realises is a thing. But if you are measuring higher frequencies, your voltage ratings drop on your probe, as you can see from that curve there. It starts at 600 volt rating, and we get down to say 1 MHz, then you're only about 140 volts or so. Comes with the cover already on there. But I do like the fact it comes with a replacement tip as well, because tips can wear out over time, where you could drop one and damage it or something. 300 volt Cat 2 rated, 600 volt Cat 1 rated on the back there. And there's the auto sensing probe, which is like a little pogo pin which pushes in. Right, and there's the high frequency, low frequency adjustments on the connector itself. And there is the probe. 12 picofarad, 10 mega ohm at 10 times. It is only 10 times, it's not a times 1 probe, it's only times 10, fixed value. But I always use times 10 anyway. I don't think I really ever go down to times 1. It's really rare. For me, times 10 would be absolutely fine. So this is the thing I really wanted it for, was this little flying lead thing. So you can get your scope probe, you can just shove that in there, and then you can probe using these flying leads. And put these onto, say, grabbers like this. Comes with grabbers, look like quite nice ones. And then you can hook onto your bits of circuitry with this. There's nice grabbers on there, look at those. Look at those tips. Angles on those, that's brilliant. Some grabbers have got really soft angles on them. Those are like 90 degrees, which means they're going to grab on and hold on really well. Some of the cheaper ones have got a slight angle on them and they just fall off. So these actually got quite a strong spring on them as well. Rating 40 volt max. So this kind of thing would be really handy. Like I recently was repairing my Datron 4700, trying to get down the reference board of that, and having these little flying leads on something like this would have been perfect. I've fixed it now. Unfortunately the timing's a bit off, but that's okay. There'll be plenty more chances to actually use these things. You could get down there, clip these little grabbers on there, and just have the probe just resting on top. It'd be fine. I mean, this ground connection, you can unplug this just like any other scope probe. You just unplug it. It's also got another lead here, which is also like a grabber as well, so you can clip it on here instead, and you can use that as a grabber, which is interesting. So obviously the longer lead is the more noise you like to pick up and that sort of stuff, so ideally keep those as short as you can. That's nice. I like that. I think these probably plug in here too, don't they? Yes, I do. There we go. So you can also unplug them from there. So if you need longer wires on here, you can also swap those out and put some longer ones on. Cool. So here's the standard hook attachment. Slide it on. It actually snaps on. Don't know if you heard that. Do it again. And that's actually quite securely on there. It's good. That's quite a nice feel. That looks like a really nice hook as well. Again, good angle on it. Reasonable spring strength. This actually feels like a really high quality set of probes. They do feel good. Price was also reasonable for what they are as well, because they're 500 MHz probes. They're very nice. Make sure you subscribe. Thumbs up if you like the video. Consider checking out links down below for things these or anything else I've got here which may be possible. Probably not the RS and LM14 stuff, because that's probably pointless. You got that dimmer thing, could be handy. I actually got that thinking I might use that for doing some desk lighting. I might put some background lighting on my desk here and I could use that to control it, but I don't know how it's going to come up on camera. It was cheap, so I thought I'd give it a go. Catch you later. See you next video. Thumbs up. Bye.